Hello there, how are you? It's me, I'm back. It's been a long time since I last did a video on YouTube, but I thought I could start again, so here we go. And also, I'd like to try a new format this time, so I'm going to try to do more like a podcast. So we will talk about all sorts of different things like grammar, dialogues, stories, phrasal verbs, you name it. So here we go. Let's start with some modal verbs today. Do you know what is a modal verb? Do you know this? So modal verbs are verbs like can, could, would, should, all of that. You know, they are verbs that we conjugate differently to normal verbs. So a normal verb like play, we would say, do you play tennis? But with the verb can, for example, you don't say do you can, you say can you? So you know how it works. But so let's just make a list of all of these verbs. So we have can, could. So the first two start with the sound k, can, could. There are two that start with a W, so w. What are they? Yeah, so will and would. What is can? Let's just go through them one by one. Can is, pouvoir, savoir. So, can you come and help me? Can you play the guitar? And what is could? Yeah, could, it has two meanings, in fact. Could is pourrait. So like, could you help me? Pourrais-tu m'aider? Or also, it is the past tense of can, so je pouvais. I could play the guitar when I was younger. Enfin, là, c'est je savais jouer de la guitare. I could. Donc, can, could, will. What is will? Yeah, so will, future tense. Je t'appellerai AI ce soir. I will ring you this evening. Or I'll, on fait la contraction. I'll ring you this evening. Sorry, I'm burping. I drank too much Schweppes. So will is the future. Would. What is would? What does that mean? Would. Yeah, would is the conditional. So would, tout seul, ça veut rien dire. It means nothing. You cannot say I would. You just say I would eat, je mangerai, AIS, to talk about hypothesis. J'irai, I would go. We do the contraction I'd go, I'd eat, I'd play. So that is would. After that, we have two modal verbs that start with the sound sh. What are they? Yep, so shall and should. So what is shall? Do you know this verb? Yeah, shall is a complicated one because in the past, maybe at school, you learnt that shall is another way to say will, the future. For example, I shall go to the cinema this evening. But now we don't say that anymore. Shall is just for offering or proposing to do something. For example, je t'ouvre la fenêtre? Shall I open the window? Or je t'aide à faire à manger? Shall I help you do the cooking? So shall just for a question to offer to do something. Shall we go to the cinema? Shall we do this? Shall we do that? On fait ci, on fait ça. Okay, and should. What is should? Should. Yep, should is devrait, simply. Je devrais manger moins de chocolat. I should eat less chocolate. Okay, so far we have can, could, will, would, and shall, should. There are two more beginning with an M. Do you know what they are? They are may and might. Two different verbs. So let's start with may. Or in fact, may and might have a similar meaning. They mean peut-être. So I may go swimming. but I may not. Peut-être que j'irai nager, mais peut-être pas. And might is the same, basically. I might go swimming, I might not. But may can also mean can in a question. For example, may I leave the table? Puis-je quitter la table? But it's a little bit, we don't use that so much anymore. So just may is peut-être, you can say that. And might the same. Okay, so that's the modal verbs. Can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might. And how do we put these verbs in the past tense? So imagine you want to say, pas je pourrais, mais j'aurais pu. Et pas je devrais, mais j'aurais dû. Do you know how to do that? Yeah, so basically you take the verb, for example, could, and then you add have, and after that you put the past participle of the verb. So, for example, j'aurais pu venir, I could have come. I could have come. And often on contracte le could et le have, donc ça fait could apostrophe VE, could've, comme ça, could've. Maybe it's easier to think of it like this. You can think au présent c'est could, et au passé could've. Voilà, plus participe passé. Pareil pour would, donc je viendrai. Au conditionnel au présent c'est I would come. Par contre, je serais venu si j'avais eu le temps. Donc c'est la même chose mais au passé. On dit I would have come ou I would have come. Voilà, donc c'est comme ça qu'on met les verbes modaux au passé. Okay, so now I'm going to read you sort of like a monologue story about a man who's called Pascal and who lives in Canada. And in this story, there are lots of modal verbs, sometimes in the present tense, sometimes in the past tense. So just sit back, close your eyes, not if you're in the car, just if you're on the sofa, and listen to the story and try to hear and recognize the different modal verbs. Let's go. Hi there, my name's Pascal, and I live in a cabin next to a beautiful lake in Canada. I must say I'm very lucky to live in such a peaceful place. I can hear the birds singing every morning, and sometimes I even see deer walking through the forest. But anyway, I must get back to work. There are lots of things I need to do today. At the moment, I should be finishing the new door for my cabin. Winter will be here soon, and I don't want the cold wind coming inside. If I had enough money, I would just buy a new door from the store. But I don't, so I have to build it myself. I could ask someone for help, but I'm on my own right now. Actually, I could have asked my friend Andy to help me, but unfortunately Andy isn't here. He's gone to visit his daughter in Alaska. Lucky him. I might have waited for him to return, but winter could arrive any day now, and I don't have time to waste. You know, I should have asked my son to help me when he was here this summer. He would have done a great job. But now it's just me. Oh well, I might as well stop complaining. I have to get this door finished. Wait a second. It's a bit cold outside, and I might take a quick break before starting. A nice hot cup of tea would be perfect right now. I could make it myself, but maybe I should ask my lovely wife Jenny to make it for me. Let's give it a try. Jenny, could you make me a cup of tea, darling? But Jenny replies, Oh, Pascal, you should have asked me 5 minutes ago. I'm just about to take a shower. Well, I guess I'll have to make it myself after all. Oh well, I can make a good cup of tea too. Now, back to work. This door won't build itself. Okay, so there you go. Did you hear the different modal verbs in there? Can, could, might, could have, should have, all of this. Yeah. So if you look down in the description under the video, I'll put the transcription of this monologue so you can look at the words and try to find them. Okay. Also, another idea, if you want to, if you have some time, you could try to write your own monologue. Écrivez votre propre petit monologue comme ça, avec des verbes modaux, au présent et au passé. Vous pouvez les mettre dans la description en dessous. Put it in the description. And in a future video, I can read it and we can correct it if you want. No problem. So let's do something else to finish. I've chosen 6 different sentences from different Quizlets. You know, in my group lessons, I often do Quizlet. So I'm going to read 6 of them in French, and then you try to say it in English, and then I'll tell you the answer. So number 1, first sentence. On se voit demain autour d'un café pour se donner des nouvelles. How do you say this? I'll say it again. On se voit demain autour d'un café pour se donner des nouvelles. So it's sort of a proposition. Do you remember? Yeah, so it's shall. Shall we? Se donner des nouvelles, a phrasal verb. Do you remember? Do you know this one? It is catch up. So, shall we catch up tomorrow over coffee? We say over coffee. I don't know why, because the coffee is here and you are over it. Shall we catch up tomorrow over coffee? Okay, number 2. This is funny. Elles vendent des coquillages au bord de la mer. Ooh. How do you say that? In fact, this one is a tongue twister. It means it's difficult to say. It is, she sells seashells on the seashore. Can you say that? She sells, elle vend, seashells, des coquillages de mer, seashells, on the seashore, sur le bord de la mer, seashore. One more time. Let's try to say it fast. She sells seashells on the seashore. Difficult. Okay, another one now. This is an expression. It is an expression in English that means when somebody says something to you but you're not really listening. So the idea is that somebody says something, the information goes in your ear, but it doesn't go in your brain, it just comes out the other ear. So you just did not really understand or listen to it. And in English, this expression is, it goes in one ear and out of the other. Funny. It goes in one ear and out of the other. Okay, another one. How do you say in English, le guépard est un tricheur? This is a funny one because the 2 words sound similar or the same pronunciation. Tricheur and guépard is cheetah. So the cheetah is a cheetah. There you go. Not the same spelling though. Cheetah, the animal is Cheetah, and the cheetah, the tricheur, is Cheater. Okay, 2 more. We have on a appris qu'on était censé y aller. How do you say that in English? So not learnt. C'est pas apprendre dans ce sens-là, c'est plutôt on a appris une nouvelle. Donc c'est un phrasal verb. C'est le verbe, do you remember? To find out. Donc on a appris, we found out that on était censé y aller, we were supposed to go. Donc on était censé, on dit on était supposé. We were supposed to go. One more time. We found out we were supposed to go. Okay, and the last one. J'ai commencé à piquer du nez, donc j'ai décidé de faire une sieste. Donc piquer du nez is also a phrasal verb with 2 parts. Do you know the phrasal verb, piquer du nez? There is this movement of the head. What is the verb when you do this? Hocher la tête. we say to nod. And piquer du nez, we can say to nod off. It's like you kind of fall asleep sitting up. So, I started to nod off, so I decided to faire une sieste, have a nap. I started to nod off, so I decided to have a nap. Okay, so that's all for today. So we did a little monologue about modal verbs. You can write your own if you want, put it in the description. In the comments underneath. You can comment on the video and put a little monologue story if you want. And yeah, and some Quizlet sentences too. Also, I'll put some games in the description underneath. You can click and play the little games to remember and to revise the words and everything. So I'll stop there for today and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.